you should get started painting. So all you need for this painting is, I have burnt umber, and I have cad red, and I have cad yellow, and I have titanium white, and I also have some ultramarine blue. This one's Windsor blue, but ultramarine blue is much better. So, and I also have some nice brushes for you to use, and this will make your painting a lot simpler. Then we have a flat synthetic brush, chiseled edge, and I have a flat Filbert brush, which is chiseled edge and synthetic, and I also have a liner brush, and a long one and a short one. You need a couple of different brushes just in case some don't work out for you, so it's nice to have a few extra brushes around. And that's about it for the brushes. When we come up with something else, I'll guide you along. Okay, so what I have here is a pattern, and what I did was I went to Pixabay and I got a nice reference photo for my horse, and I printed it off, as you can see here. And what I did was I taped it onto my canvas that I want to paint on, okay, and then I just transferred it to my canvas, as you can see, and I used carbon paper to transfer this really nice picture. Okay. What I did was I took my burnt umber, okay, and get this on there. So the very first thing I'm going to do is paint the horse with burnt umber. Alright, so don't worry about losing some of the lines. They won't be hard to find again. So put that on there, and if it, add a little bit of water to your brush if you have to keep it going. So it's a nice color, so it's a really nice underpainting. So just do that, and when you get up, and that way you don't have to worry about the shadows or the highlights or anything right now. All you have to worry about is getting the shape of the horse with the paint, and that's the main thing right now. So we'll keep doing this, and we're going to do the background last. I could have did the background first. Sometimes I do the background first and then I'll go, oh, I thought about that too. Then trying to think about what it will come out like, I was thinking maybe the background might interfere with our horse, so I up here around the eye. So we got our hairline here, and we'll put in some, there we go, there's the eye. Good. Now, in my introduction, I forgot to tell you that we should use, I think I said black and white, but you should always have black and white on your palette besides your primary colors of red, yellow, and blue. And it's nice to have your burnt umber and sap green. So those are the main colors. If you have those, then you should be well on your way to not worrying about what colors you need for your paintings. And then you can mix your own and different things like that. So it's good to learn all these things. But you want to start off simple so you don't have to be worried about what colors you need. And so just fill in the eye with black. I want to get that eye nice and black, because you can make your own black if you want with ultramarine blue and burnt umber, but sometimes it can't get as black as you'd like to have it. Alright, so we're just going to fill that in with black, and we'll worry about the eyelashes and things after. There's some black eye. You can leave a little hint up there for your eyelashes. Let's see where else there's black. Okay, so there's black in here. There we go. Good. Now you need a really small brush for this. And I just changed over to like a very small flat brush. Use a small round brush. The flat brush is synthetic chiseled edge. So a lot has to do with your brushes. What brushes you're using. Because if you use a brush that's too big, you're going to be very frustrated trying to get in that area, and then you can't get at it, and there's too much. You end up going out over the lines and all that stuff. So let's see what else we got here. This black. Let's pick out the black parts. Alright. So I see some black. See there in the bridle. See, and then there's nostrils black, and around the lip. And those other shadows, they're really dark brown, so we won't do those right now. So let's just do that much. Alright, so we got black in the nostril here. Just put that in there. Just a little bit. You don't do the whole thing, you just do where the lines are. And the lip is right here. I should say the mouth. Good. So everything else is basically like a dark brown. I don't want to do too much black, because it'll make it flat looking. So we're just going to go with the dark brown from now on. Now this time we're going to give our horse a second coat. Okay, so now we're going to go back over the horse again with the same color, but make sure that the painting that you just did, the underpainting you just did, is all dry. Okay, now we're ready for our second coat. So long as it's dry, the first coat is dry, pick up, go back to your bigger Filbert brush or flat, whatever, it doesn't matter, as long as it's chiseled edge, because that will help you get around the lines. And start putting on your second coat. And see, when you put your second coat on, everything is much smoother. See how nice and smooth that is? Alright. If you feel like you need a third coat, you can do that too. If paint is being lifted off when you're painting it, again, the second time, that means the underpainting wasn't quite dry. Now we're almost got all the second coat done. Now some of these paintings take a long time, so I had to break them up into parts, or lessons, like lesson 1, 2, and 3. So keep an eye out for that. I'll put them in. I'll be putting them in playlists for you, so that when you find lesson 1, all the other lessons should come up with it. I'll also have I'll have a time-lapse version for you, so you can check it out, see if, check that out first to see if you want to go ahead and paint it, or I may have the full painting. I will be putting the full painting on my Patreon page. I'll give early access to my Patreons. When you go into my Patreon page, I'll have it up before it goes up on YouTube, and that way you can. And I did a preview, so you can see too. If you want to, if this is something you want to do. I want to show you how the easiest way I can do it, so that you won't get discouraged and say, "Oh, I can't do that," but you will be able to do it, because we're just going by simple little techniques. It doesn't have to be complicated. I'm just going over some spots that I want to. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's nice to get your underpainting nice and smooth. That way you don't have to do too much more after you get that done. There we go. Okay, it looks like the underpainting is done. Good. Now there's my burnt sienna right here. So if you don't have that color, all you have to do, I've got a flat chiseled edge brush, okay? Take some burnt umber and add some, let's see, some red and some yellow. And that should bring it up to as close to your burnt sienna as you can. If you don't have burnt sienna to compare it to, look it up on maybe Google burnt sienna color, and then you'll have it in front of you. There we go. So that's a little better. That's pretty close. Alright, so you can use that. And I'm going to take my burnt sienna. See, it's pretty close. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on the mane. I'm going to take my chiseled edge brush, and I'm going to use the chiseled edge, the sharp edge, to bring down some of these manes. Now we have to decide where the mane is, because we did lose the lines, but that's fine, because let's just look at the just look over here and see the mane. This mane here comes down underneath the eye and over. So come over, it's halfway between the nostril and the eye. So let's go down. Let's go down here, and it looks like it probably stops around here. Make some markings just so you can see where it goes. Alright, and then it works its way down almost to the nose part, to the nostril part, okay? So we'll just make some markings here, make it easier, just to get the bottom part to decide where it goes. It comes down around here. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine, but just get some markings there. So there we go. See how the lighter colors. Now, hopefully you can see that. So now we can start at the top part and meet up with that. So use a chiseled edge so that you get these nice sharp lines. And we'll leave the top part a bit dark, because that's where the shadow is. And we'll start making these lines. See? pull down some lines, some quick strokes. There we go. And as you can see, I'm leaving some darks in between. If you lose your darks in between, we'll put them back. So there we go, look at that. There we go. See, because I'm using the chiseled edge, I'm getting these nice straight lines, or lines, so that I can keep some of my darks in between. Meet up with what you made down there. See that? There we go. Good. So we'll make some lines down here. Same color, burnt sienna, just to get that body to look rounded out here. And little short strokes to make it look like you could actually tap it on. Give it a fur look. See? You tap at it, it looks kind of furry. And tap on down here again. There we go. That gives it a nice furry look. Good. We'll do more highlighting with that now after. So now that you got that much done, let's try the top of the head. Burnt sienna and some white if you need to brighten it up a bit more. Alright, let's see what it looks like. Good. Little strokes. Tap, 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 tap. Strokes. Because I like to keep some of the underpainting too. So you can see some of it coming through there. Alright. So you're only working with 2 colors right now. That way it's not too hard. We're using the burnt sienna. Add with a bit of white added to it. I tried the yellow. I didn't find that brightened it up enough for me. You can try yellow or you can try white, okay? So you don't have to worry about what is the right color to use. So burnt sienna, it has red and yellow in it anyway, so if you're making your own because you don't have burnt sienna, just add a little bit of white to your mixture of the red, burnt umber, red and yellow. Well, let's go in here and brighten this up. Little strokes or tap, tap, tap. See, whenever you do paintings and you try to do them a second time, they're not going to come out exactly the same. Even the colors, you know, it's your strokes are a little different. Your colors don't mix exactly the same. So, you know, hopefully your painting will come out your way. Don't worry about it coming out exactly like mine. As long as it looks like a horse and you got the colors and the and even the shadows. But the reference photo I changed a little bit because I didn't want too much highlight on it. It looked too, just, you can't, the reference photos are photographs and the lighting is so much different when you're painting. It's different when you're painting. You have to make your own decisions on what way it looks better for you. But your reference photo is great to give you that inspiration. I mean, you don't know exactly where everything goes. If you try to think about a horse in your head, you know, it's really hard to remember, you know, shapes and, you know, trying to do it without a reference photo is very difficult. Maybe not for everybody, but for me it is, so I like using reference photos. For certain things, I mean, you can paint trees and grass and things and make things up out of your head after you use the painting, so many of them. So let's continue. So we'll add some more highlight to this here, to the mane. Okay, so just get some more lighter, some more there we go. See how that's lightening up there now? Good. So just using the white with the burnt sienna. Now the horse I did has a few extra colors in it, but you know, I don't, reds and yellows and things like that, but I'm trying to make this as simple as I can. So what I'll do is I'll just use a very limited palette, very limited colors, make it easier for you. Okay, we're getting the mane on there. Good. If we lose too much shadows, we'll just put them back. Some burnt umber. You can make adjustments. Good. So let's go with the ears with the burnt sienna, a little bit of white. On the edge here. Pull up some of these. Just tap, 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 tap. That'll help you get that on there. Get the shape of that ear. Good. Do another one over here on the edge. Good. A little bit here in the corner. Marvelous. Small round brush and add burnt sienna to burnt umber, the dark brown, and put that in here in between the ears. Darken it up. Now that's not dark enough for me. I'm going to add a little bit of black to that, a little bit of black to my burnt umber. Darken it up, and that will darken that up nice and dark, but it won't be totally black. There we go. There we go. And the other one. So I'll leave that for now. See the shyness on it there. Now for our bridle, we will, I guess I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm just going to put, let's see. I'm just going to put, for now, I'm going to put black and white together and make it gray. So I will just make it gray for now. I think that will be our first background color. Underpainting. Okay, so you have to have some color, a first color for your underpainting. And the first color can be anything close to what you see that's already on top. So if you're looking at your reference photo and you see some grays in there, then you can make your underpainting gray. It's starting to look like a horse. Good. Now let's work on the eye. Let's see, I'll get as close as I can for you. Alright, so what I'm going to use on the eye is I'm going to use a very small brush. I'm going to use my small round brush, like this one. Alright, can't see it because it's too close now. I get it all close. There we go. There we go. Let's go around the eye with some burnt umber. And let's add a little bit of burnt sienna to the burnt umber to lighten it up a little bit. So we'll just use those two colors. We'll stick with those two colors until we need to use other colors. But this is the one I want to use right now. So let's go around the eye, the circle that you made, the black one there. And we will go around the eye with that color. And it's hard to see that color, isn't it? So I will try adding more burnt umber. See if that helps. Alright, so let's just get that on there. Go right around the eye. That's where the eyelashes were, so I went over those. You can leave it open if you want to guide you for the eyelashes. So we'll get around that eye, and we will underneath the eye. Okay, so I'm going to go around that again a little bit, burnt umber, go around the eye. Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the black and shape up that eye a bit better. Let's see. Make sure it's shaped properly. Okay. Got some down here. So just go back in again and get the shape that you want. You got a bit of a glare there. So I'm going to get you to pick up some white, and because the paint is wet, it's going to pick up some of the colors, so then it won't be so totally white. So while it's still wet, let's go on top of this. You know that brown burnt umber went around the eye? Well, now we're going to highlight some of that. So we'll just highlight that a little bit on the edge here. And underneath here a little bit. Good. Like I say, you're getting a glare, so hopefully we'll be able to, that'll go away soon. And then I'm going to take some more white on my little brush. And I'm going to give them a highlight. Now that paint is wet, so it may, a couple little highlights in the eye. That'll bring it out more then, see? It's starting to come to life. So we will. It's very hard to see the eyelashes, but if you want to, you can pick up some burnt sienna. Okay, pick up some burnt sienna, and I'll get close up again there. See where you're getting a glare? I'm going to probably wait for that to dry so I can show it to you properly. But I'm using some burnt sienna just to see if I can put a few eyelashes in here, which is I'm going to drag them down from this top lid here. Just a couple little, just a little touch, probably like a little tap, 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 tap. Hard to see it there with the glare, so I'll wait for that to dry and I'll be able to show it to you better. Alright, so next, keep it easy and simple. Let's go into our black. And what we'll do is we will put some shadows around the bridle. around these straps. Let's call them straps, because I don't want to pronounce them wrong and then you're going to laugh at me. I don't mind you laughing. I like to get a smile or a laugh out of you every now and then. Try not to take everything so serious. Yeah. We don't need to take everything so serious. Life is too serious as it is, hey. Might be able to enjoy as much as we can our time. Can't have everything perfect, but if you can grab a little bit of happiness every now and then, hang on to it for a while, because it'll slip out of your hands like jelly. But yeah, just grab onto it. If you get happiness comes your way, just grab onto it and hang on to it as long as you can. And then when it goes away, then you wait for it to come back again. It's like a boomerang. It'll be back. It'll be back. Okay, so we're just going to put the highlights, the shadow on the edges here, okay? There we go. You might want to use a chiseled edge brush, but I'm just using a small round brush, so if you're having a hard time with it, don't worry, because then you can go back in with the gray and take some of those darker lines out there. Or you can bring them over a little bit for a shadow. But just go on the sides here. Don't worry about shadows yet. Don't worry. There we go. Yeah, catch a bit of happiness, put it in your pocket, and save it for a rainy day. Now, so we got the black lines going in through there to outline the strap, and let's see, maybe a little bit around here. Now they're not quite, I'm standing up, so I may have to get a different angle to do the smaller details, but right now I'm standing here and reaching over, so my lines are a bit crooked, but that's okay, because I don't worry about that kind of stuff. Like I say, we can, when we're doing our final details, that'll all be adjusted. As long as you get. Now we're going to try some highlights on the here, and we're going to go with red and yellow. We're going to go with orangey color this time. And don't forget, our acrylics dry darker, so it might look really orangey at first, but you'll see when it dries that it won't look so orangey. So now you got this done here, and you're going to go back over it with, you may have to wet your brush for the paint to come off, okay? Got a little bit drippy there. So you get a little bit drippy there, so just tap it off on your palette, put your colors on, and let's see what this is going to look like. Alright. So we'll keep trying. This part might be a little tedious. Alright. It won't come off. It's coming off, but it's slow. So let's keep trying. Kind of an orangey color. Red and yellow. I'm using more yellow than red. right now. Might have to go back in and more adjust my colors at times, but right now I'm just going to do this. There we go. It's coming off. Why am I using these colors, you ask? Well, it's because of the reference photo. And I'm looking at the colors, but you don't have to have, you can look at all kinds of different horses and see what, you know, depends on where the shadow is. This is because there's a lot of light on this horse, a lot of sunlight shining on the horse, and it's reflecting these colors on the horse. So look at the reference photo or my painting, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. When you go to my Patreon page, you'll see the reference photo there, and then you'll be able to use that to help you get the colors. There we go. It's a little bit tedious, so I'm gonna continue doing that for you while you watch. So as you can see, it's kind of orangey, but that's the way we want it, because by the time we get all our other highlights on, it'll all be blending wonderfully. Like if you compare it to the other horse that I did, you can see the color's a little darker there because it's dried out, and but we will add the highlights like we did over there. There we go. See? Kind of orangey. All those highlights, so we'll do that. Now, so make your red and yellow together and make some more orangey color and tap on the highlights here. I know I already did some highlights, but I need to really brighten them up much better. Just tapping them on, just coming down, and let's see where else. Let's just tap on some more around here. Alright, just underneath what you just did. Just tap, 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 tap. Here we go. Good. Get more yellow if it's too red, just get some more yellow. Keep it kind of an orangey color. And this part here goes around the face. Good, just tap it on. Okay. I'm just tapping it on to get kind of a furry look. Just give it a bit of texture. And then a little bit here. So around this part here, don't want too yellow. Don't forget it dries. So you can, as you're doing all this over here, you can keep going back and forth if you want to brighten it up a bit more. If you got more yellow on your brush, you can just highlight it there for back and forth on this part here just to get what you're looking for. If it doesn't come out the way you're looking for it, and it gets really, really bad, just paint it, go back to your burnt umber, and we'll start over. because I'm having a little bit of a problem. Not too much. I'm just going to go get some burnt umber and put in a little shadow here. I'll fix it up after. Like I say, doing a video is a little bit harder than when I'm by myself, and I take many hours to figure things out. Good. And just wipe off your brush and just tap it around that, just so it'll smooth it out a bit. So it looks like I need a little more highlight on the edge there, so I'm going back with my yellow and red or orange. Just going to tap down the edge there for now. So that part there, if it's too tricky for you, just have your burnt umber as your main background paint, and then just take some burnt sienna or some of your orange color and just tap around here for highlights. And if you have a really hard time, just put on some burnt sienna, okay? Because there's so many different ways you can do it, and sometimes it's a little harder than others. So I got a little bit of leftover paint on my brush here. I'm just going to go up around the eye a little bit here. I'm just tapping with whatever's left over my brush. I haven't got much paint on there. I need to fill in that spot. See that white spot there? That's supposed to be filled in. So I'm going to throw a little bit of that burnt umber there. So only working with a couple of colors, so you should be okay for us to go back and forth with some colors without getting too fooled up. A bit of burnt umber there. Okay. And while you got the burnt umber out, let's add a little bit more here, just because that's a shadow there. Okay. Alright. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad at all. So I'm just going to fill in a little bit up here to match that. Same orangey color. Alright. The same orangey color. So I got a little bit different color there, so I'm just going to get some more. I'm just tapping. Gives me a bit of texture, which makes it look a little more furry. The horse got fur. Just tapping around whatever I got left over with my brush. So around that face there is mostly tapping on color. The orangey color or the burnt sienna, whatever works for you. That's better. Good. I'm going to add a little bit to the other side of the face there now. Okay, so let's go with the other side of the face. I'm just tapping also. I'm tapping, but you can rub it on if you want like this. You can do that if you want to. Okay. But I'm tapping just to get some texture, okay? You do whatever makes you happy. This is a happy painting. This should be the theme of my paintings. Either the happy painter or the happy little paintings or something with happy in it. Give me some suggestions. I'd love to hear from you. What would you suggest? I got word happy in it for to add to my channel name or to mention it when I'm doing some paintings. Okay, so let's just lighten it up a little bit here. So we're just working with the orangey color. So at least that way you don't have to go and look for a big pile of different colors. You know, you can add greens and blues, and you know, we don't want to do that to you. Alright, good. And now we'll work on so we worked on this part here with some orangey colors. We worked on that there with orangey color. So all the face now is orange color. Okay, we use red and yellow. And if you find your red and yellow too orangey, then just add a bit of burnt sienna to it, okay? And that means if you don't have burnt sienna, just add a little bit of red, brown to your red and yellow. So, work with those three colors. So this up here for the ears. Okay, I'm just tapping on there. And I want to have some here. A little bit here. And a little bit over here. And here. So I'm starting on the outside and pulling in a little bit. Good. We'll work on this part down here now. Okay, so let's just tap some of that orangey color down here. Good. And some in here. We got that nice underpainting there, so we don't want to lose it all. So by tapping like this, you can get to keep some of your underpainting. Some of the underpainting for shadows and things. Okay, there we go. So those highlights will make it shadowy looking. So go back and get a bit of burnt umber and put this shadow here. And that comes down around the nose, the nostril there. It's not dark enough, just add a little bit of black. Okay, I got some paint mixed in with it, which I don't want to do. Alright, that just gives that shadow there. Good. And if you lost some of your highlight, just go back in again and put it back in. See, you can just go back and forth, you'll be fine. So this part here, of course, is too orangey, so we'll go with, let's see. Let's go with some burnt umber. And let's take some of that burnt umber on the edge of the black here. Start moving it out into that orangey color there. See how that orangey color brings it lightens it up a bit for you? So underpaintings are very, very good to have. There we go. Good. It's okay to go into your black. That's better, see? Good. Let's take some of that burnt umber and fill in that bottom lip a little bit there, and see if we can get that. Good. Okay, let's just rub that on there. So the underpainting comes through, and then it's not so dark anymore. It's just, you can even let some of the underpainting come through if you want to. Good. And also we're going to use, let's try, see, let's try a little bit of, on your dirty brush, try a bit of burnt sienna to bring this together. Yeah, there we go. Good. All right. And that gray underneath there will tone it down a little bit, see? So underpainting is very, very important. Okay, good. All those nice colors are really bringing the horse together. As you can see in side by side, they don't look exactly the same in colors, but it's really difficult to get the exact same colors. You do painting twice. It's really difficult to get everything to be exactly the same as the other painting. But okay, so we're going to go with the orangey color again. I'm using a chiseled edge flat. Make sure it's nice and chiseled edged. Get some yellow and some red. Make kind of an orangey color. These are our highlights now, so you can go with burnt sienna and the yellow and red, and you can use yellow for your highlights, even more highlights. So those are the colors that you can work with. So take your chiseled edge and start dragging. Leave the top dark, okay? So that'll be your shadows up there. So you're going to drag down these nice lines, and you're going to skip over, like we did before, skip over some of the dark areas so you can save those, okay? Good, and then you just drag down. Alright, so if you can't see it very well, that's only because we need a few extra highlights. Now, there we go. We'll have to go over that a few times. In order to get those highlights to stand out, you're going to need to go over it a few times. A couple little highlights down here, if you can see it. Just a little down here, just a couple it on the edge there. We don't need to do a big lot there, just a bit of yellow and red, but more yellow than red, and we'll get that to stand right out. Alright. Good. We want to highlight this here because you want to be able to see that darkness here. So that's your, just move that around a little bit, just to get that as a highlight. Alright. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to darken this up a little bit more with some burnt umber. There we go, just on the edge there. That'll straighten out the neck too if you got a couple of crooked lines there. Good. And if it's not dark enough, just add a little bit of black to your burnt umber, just to get it really, really dark. Okay. Also under the chin here, make it nice and dark, nice dark shadows. There we go. And with your chiseled edge, you can straighten up some of those lines also. So a bit of black and a bit of burnt umber, just to get it really dark here in this corner. Good. Straighten out that strap there. Alright. Now clean off your brush really good, just wipe it off in your tissue, and take that black that you put in there and move it around a little bit. Good. But you want to still keep that light part there. See that light part underneath there? Keep that. Or maybe we'll, hang on now, maybe we'll line it out. We want to keep some of it, but let's try adding a little bit. Okay. Don't want to lose that little highlight we got there, because that's really nice. Alright. good. That's good. A bit over here. Right. We're doing good. Some nice shadows there. Good. Good, good. I think. See what else we need to do now. Just go back to your orange and red and just add a few more little highlight. Oops. Add a few more little highlights up here, but I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. Like I keep telling you, things are okay. You can fix them, change them around. Alright, there we go. Come down a little bit into the eye. Didn't mean to come into the eye that much. Fool around too much now, I'll ruin it. So I don't like about redoing things when they're already done really nice. But I gotta be stubborn. So, just adding a few more highlights here. Because I found it looked a bit awkward. I'm coming down here because I just want to add a few little highlights in here. That's okay, that won't be to here, it's just a highlight. Let's see, let's see. Just trying to get this down here a little bit more because I find it looks like it's... There we go. So I'm showing you this because I want you to see that, you know, you be a little picky, and it's good to be picky. There's nothing wrong with it, you know. You see I'm being picky, and you can be picky too, because you might say, why am I so picky? Because it's a painting and it's not as simple as you'd like it to be, even though I'm trying to make it as simple as I can. Good. There we go. It's starting to come together, isn't it? I think it would look nice. Maybe a little bit here. I might be overdoing it now, so if you don't like what I'm doing, if you're saying, no, I got enough highlight, I'm not doing that, don't do it if you don't want to, okay? So I'm going to darken up this area down here. Just picking out spots that I think need to be adjusted. That's all you have to do, is go back over it and see what you need to do to adjust things. You know, these little details really make it nice. You see anywhere else that you might need adjustments? I see one right here. You may have to look at this whole video before you even start to paint, and that way you'll see what I'm doing. That's usually what I do. I usually look at a video first, and then I'll look at it, and I will go through it with the artist. I'll just look and see what they're doing and what brushes I need and what paints and get it all set up. And then I'll go back over the whole video again, and I will follow along. That's what I used to do when I was learning. And I still do it from time to time now too, depending on, you know, what I like to try some new techniques, or maybe I'll pick up something that I can teach. Good, a little bit there, a little highlight there, maybe a little highlight on the eye. Like I said, I might overdo it, but we'll see. Let's try a little bit of highlight just up here, not right on top of the eye, but in that corner there. Alright, good. And maybe a little bit down here. Kind of highlights the eye, brings the eye out, brings attention to the eye. You notice that? But that's not even in the reference photo. I'm just picking out a few things I want to do myself. Some white spots on there. If you end up getting extra paint on there or whatever, just take your brush, a little bit of brown paint, and bye. Bye-bye. There we go. Let's take this dark one, take this mouth here, and darken up again, some black, and then bring it right up around that edge there. Good. Alright. If you find it too wide, you can just add a bit of burnt sienna. Just put it down here to thin it out the way you want it. Alright, blends that line together a bit better too. Good. Now see that white on the snout and the white on the head? Well, we don't want to leave that. That's the canvas white. But what I want to do with that is I want you to get you can get your Filbert brush, a small one if you want, or a small flat brush. And I want you to take that white and add a little bit of, I don't know, let's say we can gray it up a little bit. Gray it up, or put a little bit of blue on there if you want. So we just want to get that color, we just want to get that to look more natural, okay? So it doesn't look natural. I'm going to take a little tiny bit of blue, and I'm going to take more white than blue, and I'm going to put that here. That way I can straighten out some of the, there we go, straighten it out. But you can barely see it, but yet it adds some shadow. And you can just go over that with that color, and it'll make it more realistic looking. Just put that in there, and down here too. Okay. So that'll make it more natural looking. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take pure white and add that in the center so that you don't have just pure gray. So you want to have your white. Alright, and then some white down here. Alright. And that makes it look more round. Or it gives it some shape. Just gives it more of a natural look, basically. See? There's the snout. So if you want more, when that dries, you can add a bit more white to the center here. Because right now it's just picking up your gray color. Oops. Okay, good. So I think we will start on the background now. So I think it came up pretty nice. I put the background on, it'll be really nice. That's the simplest way I could find to teach you how to do a horse, and to, you know, so that you could get a start on it, and you can add more highlights to your horse if you want to. You can add more highlights after I'm finished. You just take some yellow and a little bit of red. Even take a bit of white, but I don't know if I want to. A little bit of white, I guess. Yeah, for your final highlight, it might help. And you can just go back over that right in the center. In the center. And add a few more streaks of highlight. Look, see how it's bright now? But then once it dries, you can't even see it. Because that's acrylic paints for you. But the more you layer it, the more you will be able to see it, okay? And also, if you want to, you can do the final highlights with oils. But I got another video on how you can paint oils over acrylics. If you want it, just let me know. Okay. Because I may not remember to put the link in the description. Alright, so that's just a nice little highlight there. See? That's pretty. See, it just gives it that nice little oomph to it. Good, now we'll do our background. Now we'll do our background, and we'll use this brush here, but I don't want to dirty this one, so I'm going to use the dirty one. Okay, same brush, just a bit messy. And what I'm doing for the background is I'm using yellow and green and red and white, okay? And I'm doing that because there's reds in the horse, and the reds and greens complement each other on the color wheel, so that's what we'll do. So we'll start out with some, just tap into some yellow. And let's just put some yellow on there, okay? Now, because that's wet, dip into some of your green, and then start tapping in some green. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Alright, now take a chiseled edge brush so we can do the edges, okay? Flat chiseled edge brush. Good. Pick up the same colors of green, a little bit of green and a little bit of yellow, and just tap on the edges here. When you get close to the horse, you may need to pull. Okay, so that part in here is really tiny, so you might need a smaller brush. Just get that small round brush that we used. Get that small round brush and tap that in here, or get it in there somehow. Alright. There we go. It's not bad. We got it. We got it. Very good. How's that look? So we'll say, I'm going to call it finished. There's probably some stuff that you could do with it, but I think I'm going to call it finished. You know, you can give me some comments in the comments below just to let me know what you thought of this painting. And well, thank you so much for watching my video today. And if you liked my video, you can give me a like, you can share my video, and you can subscribe and press the notification button so you can get lots more videos like you've seen today. And I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.